AirPods Pro 3 were rumoured to launch with a groundbreaking feature that could change lives, and there's now evidence of it in Apple code. What am I talking about? In-person live translation. Imagery tucked away in iOS 26 Beta 6 shows an image of AirPods surrounded by the word hello in multiple languages, along with a hint that you'll be able to activate it with a double press. The file is literally called Translate, and it's sitting inside the Translate app resources in the latest beta, so that's about on the nose as it gets. Bloomberg's Mark Gurman has already said that AirPods would eventually get a translation feature for in-person conversations, and this pretty much confirms it's coming. The only mystery is when. I reckon this will launch alongside AirPods Pro 3 at the September event, and it makes sense because iOS 26 should be released to the public next month as well. What's interesting though is that based on the beta images, it looks like this will work with AirPods Pro 2 and AirPods 4, so this necessarily won't be exclusive to AirPods Pro 3. And because existing live translation features are linked to Apple Intelligence, you probably need an iPhone that supports that as well. So that's one of the new features with AirPods Pro 3 confirmed, but let's talk about an actual code leak that confirms their very existence. Apple quietly updated a section of its internal codebase related to Bluetooth syncing and tucked inside a new identifier, 8239. Now that number might not seem like much to you, but in the world of Apple hardware, these IDs matter. For reference, AirPods Pro 2 type CR8228, so 8239, that's something new, something that hasn't been announced yet. Most analysts believe this is likely to be AirPods Pro 3, especially since the timing lines up with everything else we're hearing. Now, I'd love to tell you this means the launch is guaranteed, but unfortunately not everyone agrees. According to Jeff B, a well-known analyst, Apple's delaying AirPods Pro 3 until 2026. That would mean no new AirPods Pro this year at all, with the next update arriving alongside the iPhone 18 and the Apple Watch Series 12 next year. But here's the thing, this doesn't line up with what other trusted sources are saying. Bloomberg's Mark Gurman, for example, arguably the most reliable Apple reporter out there, says AirPods Pro 3 are launching in just a few weeks, and Steve Moss, who combs through Apple's code for a living, has previously found direct references to what seems like the Pro 3 in iOS 26 beta. Personally, I'm leaning towards a 2025 launch. Think about it, the first AirPods Pro came out in 2019, the second gen launched in 2022, that's a 3-year cycle, so 2025 lines up perfectly. And with September fast approaching and this new Bluetooth identifier already showing up, it makes perfect sense for Apple to unveil AirPods Pro 3 alongside the iPhone 17 and Apple Watch Series 11. I will mention though, it's odd we haven't got a leak of the actual product yet. AirPods Pro 2's casing leaked a few months prior to release, and this has happened quite consistently with all AirPods refreshes, so it's weird these haven't leaked yet, but maybe Apple's just gotten very good at preventing leaks now. I still think we can expect them this year, and Apple needs these to release now to maintain their market share. Because while rumors heat up and new code leaks surface, fresh market data from not just one but 2 major research firms paints a broader picture of why AirPods Pro 3 are so important, not just for the Apple sheet but for Apple's position in the increasingly competitive global audio space. However, before we get into that, if you're enjoying this video, please hit that subscribe button. It helps more than you know and gets you future Apple updates right when they drop. And we're trying to hit 20,000 subscribers right now, so every sub counts. Join the Surround By gang now. Let's start with the global view. According to Counterpoint Research, Apple's still leading the premium wireless earbuds market, even as total global shipments are projected to only rise 3% in 2025. That's a serious slowdown compared to the explosive growth over the last few years. But while cheaper brands like Xiaomi and JBL are taking over the sub $50 segment, Apple continues to dominate in revenue. And the big reason why? AirPods Pro. When people think of premium wireless earbuds, AirPods Pro instantly come to mind, and Counterpoint names the upcoming AirPods Pro 3 as a key driver for Apple's continued strength in this category over the next 12 to 18 months. In other words, this isn't just another ordinary update. Apple needs AirPods Pro 3 to sustain their market share. The pressure's on. Brands like Samsung, Sony, Bose, and a whole flood of cheaper knockoffs are making serious inroads. And it's not just the global picture that matters here. We've got fresh numbers from CRP, which focuses on the US market, and there are some interesting takeaways. According to CRP, 44% of iPhone owners in the US now report owning Bluetooth earbuds, up slightly from 41% the year before. But here's the important part. Of those, 59% use AirPods. That's a small gain from 57% in the previous year. So if you run the numbers, that means around 26% of all iPhone users in the US right now are using AirPods. That's a pretty significant chunk, but it's also revealing. Apple's not gaining share the way they used to, instead it's holding steady even as the size of the market grows only slowly. And that's why AirPods Pro 3 matters so much. It's about making sure Apple doesn't fall behind as the competition intensifies. And it seems Apple themselves are gearing up to launch AirPods Pro 3 by clearing existing inventory of AirPods Pro 2. Earlier last month, the AirPods Pro 2 were discounted heavily during Amazon Prime Day from $249 down to $149. That's a $100 price cut, one of the steepest cuts ever for that model. Best Buy and Walmart quickly matched it, even though Apple kept the full price on their own site and stores. And if AirPods Pro 3 come out this year, let's talk about what we're actually getting. Design-wise, as I've said, we're yet to see the actual product, but rumors say it will have a refreshed look. They don't expect anything too radical. People said the same about AirPods Pro 2. They said it would ditch the stem, but they didn't, and I don't think they will this time either. The stem isn't just iconic, it's functional. It allows for pinch gestures, intuitive controls, and most recently, the ability to trigger your iPhone's camera remotely. If anything, Apple's doubling down on the stem. We might see a cleaner profile, smaller sensors, maybe even more compact case. Based on what we saw with AirPods 4, a slimmer case with a hidden LED and capacitive front button is likely. And hey, while we're dreaming, could we get some more color options please? I know white is iconic, but give us matte black, sky blue, anything, just something new. Though realistically, Apple's probably going to stick to white again because it's part of their brand now. Anyway, let's talk about internal upgrades, and here's where things get really exciting. AirPods Pro 3 are expected to feature the new H3 chipset. H1 debuted with the first Pros, H2 in the second gen, so H3 is the logical next step. And while the name may sound boring, the performance definitely won't be. We're expecting major gains in processing speed, noise cancellation, and power efficiency. That means better transparency mode, more dynamic spatial audio, and longer battery life. But the biggest headline might be health tracking. Multiple leaks suggest Apple's working on in-ear heart rate sensors for the Pro 3, and it's not science fiction, the tech is already available in Beats' latest Powerbeats Pro 2, so you know Apple can do it. Why would you want heart rate tracking in your earbuds, especially if you already have an Apple Watch? Well, not everyone wears a watch. For casual fitness folks, or people just want the data without the wrist wear, this could be genuinely useful. There's also buzz about temperature sensing through the ear canal. If that lands in the Pro 3, it could provide more accurate temperature tracking than the Apple Watch. Useful for illness detection, fitness, or even fertility tracking. It might not launch on day one, but a firmware update down the line wouldn't surprise me at all. After all, Apple added the hearing aid mode post-launch to AirPods Pro 2. As for pricing, the current AirPods Pro 2 launched at $249, the same as the original, but if Apple adds all this health tech, don't be shocked if it jumps to $279 or even $299. They'll position it as part of your wellness toolkit, not just another pair of earbuds. Still, pricing lately has been all over the place. The new iPad stayed cheap at $349, but then Apple dropped the 16E at $599, confusing everyone, so we'll have to wait and see. But now it's your turn. Are you planning to upgrade to AirPods Pro 3? Which rumored feature excites you the most? Let me know down below. And if you made it all the way to the end, thank you. Hit that like button if you haven't already, subscribe for more Apple deep dives, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching.